Hello and welcome to the EcoBiz Show, where you can get ideas to grow your business and make it greener. And today I'm joined by Fran Ellington of Triple Bottom Line Accounting Limited, and we are talking about how to decarbonise your business to reach net zero as soon as possible. So welcome, Fran. Great to have you on the show.
Hi, Karen. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome. So TBLA, which we're going to use that for short, is an accounting practice that offers a range of services from compliance to advisory, as well as a range of ESG impact services to help business decarbonise, set a net zero strategy, or improve other areas of their ESG impact. So we'll launch straight into the questions. What are some of the quick and easy ways to lower your carbon footprint as a business?
Well, it's funny because when we designed these questions, Karen, it was a while back. And of course, now we've all become experts overnight in energy efficiency, haven't we? So I don't want to be facetious and say wear an extra jumper and sit on a hot water bottle and that sort of thing. But there are some really quick and easy ways and affordable ways that you can do this. So one of the reasons energy is so expensive at the moment is because it's priced at the cost of gas. It's the fossil fuel that's expensive. So check that your electric supplier is using 100% renewable energy and start creating that demand as a business and as many businesses for more renewable energy in this country. Make that change from us having to be dependent as a nation on gas-powered power stations to top up our electric supply. If you're using fossil fuels such as gas for heating and energy, it can be simply just making sure that your gas boiler is regularly serviced so it's as efficient as possible, but then budgeting into your accounting system about for its end of life. You don't want to change it for another gas boiler. You want to start thinking about how much it is a heat pump or a combination of microgeneration, solar, wind, etc., going to cost your business, and start factoring that into your budgeting now and your savings now for when you need to make that change. If you work from home, why not check your EPC certificate, your energy performance certificate, which you will have from when you purchase the property, because that actually has specific advice as to what you want to do. Do you need to insulate loft, underfloor walls, whether they're solid walls or cavity walls? You can insulate them, piping, changing to LED light bulbs, all those things. It will be on your own personal EPC certificate. So dig that out and see what you really can be doing. As a business premises, whether it's a warehouse or an office, using motion sensors, spending a bit of money on motion sensors so that lighting and heating only comes on when you're using the building or that particular room. And making sure you've got smart meters so you can see when you're emitting or using your energy the most, smart thermostats, and even remote control thermostats, so that when there's no one in the building and you're not there, you can make sure it's turned down or turned off. It can save you so much money, as well as obviously reducing your carbon footprint. I could talk so long about this, and I think you have already, the carbon footprint of the internet, your cloud storage, winter working. If you have a workforce that are working from home, it might actually be better that they're all in one room in the office, even when you factor in the commuting, for instance. So yes, they're not emitting greenhouse gases from the fuel from their cars or from the public transport they're using, but that might actually be, if you rationalise the commutes themselves, being more efficient over the colder weather of this winter. But what I really would say is that the first thing you need to do is measure your carbon footprint. Okay, because how do you know what greenhouse gas your businesses are emitting? Is it methane? Is it carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, or the chlorofluorocarbons? And then which are your highest emitting activities? So you've got to measure them. And the Science-Based Targeting Initiative says that to be defined as a net zero business, for most businesses, this means reducing your greenhouse gas emissions by 90% from your baseline year. So if you don't have a baseline year, if you haven't measured 12 months, get that done now, and then you can set up a strategy of how long it's going to take you to reduce your emissions by at least 90%, and what you can do. So that's more important than giving you a list of things that you might want to do.
Yeah. Oh, some great advice there. Absolutely. And, a lot of those tips I just think are brilliant. And one of my guests that was on a couple of weeks ago actually said they got a smart meter in place, and the kids now are watching it and going, oh, should I turn this off? Should I turn this off? Because they're watching the graph
Yes.
and everything. So getting the family engaged as well, even if you're working from home, and that I think is a great idea.
Yeah.
So, well, then that brings us then to, what are some of the low cost or free tools that you can measure your carbon emissions? Because obviously we have, a wide audience here, but a lot of them are sort of solopreneurs. So,
Yeah.
not always
Yeah.
afford expensive
You know,
ones.
if you're a really small business, you might want to start off by using the free calculator on carbonfootprint.com. I've put some links underneath this show, I think, Karen.
Yes, I've added all those in.
And
So
all the free Clear, there's one called Clear Eco. Now, the problem with these is they are quite easy to use. Carbon Footprint is better for manufacturing-based business, and Clear Eco perhaps best for service and logistics-based businesses. But they only measure your scope 1 and 2 and just a few of your operational scope 3 emissions, such as waste and water. Now, scope 3, we are going to be required to measure these. There's no legislation as yet, but it's coming in. So this means your whole value chain emissions. So by buying goods and services, you're creating a demand for something that's going to create emissions, and they need to be measured. And if you're making something or providing a service, what emissions are then going to be created by delivering, and transporting that product, using that product or using that service, and its end of life cycle. So you need to start thinking about using perhaps a spend-based or cost-based calculator. The best one I've seen is free on the SME Climate Hub, designed by Normative. You have to manually upload your bookkeeping data. So it's a little bit time consuming, but if you have an accountant, probably take them half an hour as opposed to you taking 5 hours. I know that from experience because I'm not an accountant, and I gave it to one of the accountants and they did it really quickly for me. And there are coming online some integrations with your bookkeeping software. So we're trialing one called Spherix that integrates with Xero, QuickBooks and Sage cloud accounting bookkeeping software. And there's some initial, uploading of information, but then you can get a month by month, quarter by quarter, year by year analysis of your whole carbon footprint without too much effort. So I do recommend those.
Brilliant. So what are the benefits of decarbonising your business then?
Well, the elephant in the room is survival. So Kate Rayworth of Donut Economics says to secure a thriving future for humanity and the rest of the living world, if we don't, then the outcomes are pretty awful. And Antonio Guterres, after the Secretary General of the UN, after the most recent IPCC report, he didn't mince his words. The price of failure would be a world vulnerable to irreversible and exponential effects of global heating, etc., etc. But from an economic point of view, the cost of not preparing for climate change will be more expensive. Okay, gas heating and heating of hot water is going to be unaffordable, from a climate change and a cost perspective. But it helps you retain clients and customers. If you can prove that you're carbon neutral and you have a plan to be net zero, you're more likely to win over new clients and customers or retain them. You're going to save money by not spending it on heating, escaping through an uninsulated building, employee retention. And then saving money to spend on the more costly interventions that you might need to make down the line.
I think that's good. That's a really good point. And so what are there any legal requirements to set a net zero strategy that apply to businesses now? And is there funding available for that?
I can see we're really short of time. And so at the moment, no. There's the Competition and Marketing Authority Green Claims Code. So that's worth Googling. And I think we've got the link for that as well. So you could be found out for making green claims that are not verified, and that would be bad marketing for you. And coming on thick and fast is the Task Force for Climate-Related Financial Disclosures. I won't go into that, but the TCFD is something that's worth looking up, because it's a legal requirement in the UK now for large corporations, 2024, all public interest bodies, but it's designed to trickle down to the smallest of business.
Okay, so people just need to start getting prepared now. And I know you offer a free 30-minute consultation on the back of a short questionnaire. So the link is down below if you want to have a look at that. You can find TBLA at triplebottomlineaccounting.com. I highly recommend checking them out and seeing their services and what they offer, because they can really help you get to net zero a lot quicker than you'll be able to do on your own, or probably I think you would struggle to do anything like this on your own. You need the experts to help you. So thank you so much for joining me, Fran. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's been a pleasure too. Thank you, Karen. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for all the tips. I know we didn't get to your top eco tip, but you've put so many eco tips in there. I think people have got loads of takeaways.
Start by starting. That's what I say. Schedule it into your calendar so it actually starts. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Brilliant. Really good tip. Really simple. So people, get on there, do check them out, sign up for consultation. To our viewers, thank you for watching. If you're watching the replay as well, all the links and information is down below, and we'll catch you the same time next week, Tuesday.